and sisters, today I come on to talk about a Michigan law. It's not really, it's basically a new law. It was established in 2009, but right now they about to push full force and implement it. It's MCL 75411. It's gang or gang association. Plain and simple. Membership or association in the gang. They done made that and enacted that to be a law to send you to prison and carry a 20-year max. But first, before I go in there, I want to share something with my brothers and sisters. Every time I come on this forum, I come on here to teach a lesson, to reach people, and most importantly, I come on here to galvanize people so that we can make moves and do something about it. I do not wish, or nor do I come on here to debate with anybody about who know the most, because it's not about that. All of us is looking for solutions to this great big old problem that we got. And if you want to seriously debate with me, then you should be showing up at that front line with me, and then you debating with me, telling me the proper way we should be going in to battle a concern, then that's a proper debate. Other than that, you debating with me, going back and forth with me, trying to go back and forth with me over these internets and things like that, it's clearly to strike down the message, plain and simple, because you can't debate with a person when you're not even in the race, you're not even in the fight. How can you debate about what's going on? You ain't even fighting, you ain't even putting 1% effort. So at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, I wish not to debate with nobody. Show up at the front line. I'm not an entertainer. I don't come on here to entertain nobody. I understand that it's social media, so I understand people use it for various different reasons. I use it this straight up like a newsroom to me. Every time I'm on here, I'm never going to be playing with you. I'm never going to be laughing with you. I'm never going to be showing you no food. I'm never going to be showing you no places that I'm at. I'm never going to be bragging about no bull crap that don't mean nothing. I'm clearly going to be here to get a message to you, and every word and every thought and everything I convey to you going to be that message. And it's going to be nothing else, plain and simple. So today I'm going to talk about this MCL. It's association of member of a gang. And what they saying is basically if they identify any individuals that's in the gang. Now what they saying is a gang is things that's a part of our culture. Meaning that anytime you say you belong to a certain street, or you claim a street that you grew up on, and a group of y'all, 5 or more, y'all associate yourself with any name, any street, any location, or anything like that, that's enough for them to say or to classify y'all as a gang. So what they doing is using the social media as the evidence. So once they clock y'all as being a part of this little group y'all made up or whatever, or a street y'all say y'all belong to, they waiting and they hunting. As soon as one of y'all catch a felony, they hitting y'all with the underlying felony that you got. Then they coming to hit you with another additional felony, which gonna be gang membership or gang association. Now this the thing, they take a first offense that you normally would have, and now you got a second offense added on to you. But the thing about this MCL, this gang MCL, is it got a 20-year maximum sentence, the same as Rico. That's why we calling this the baby Rico. And the thing about it is you have to automatically go to prison, because anytime you got a 20-year max, you got to automatically go to prison. So what that do? That whores our brothers off to prison, so it's no longer no first offense. Remember this, taking our culture, something that we all grew up doing. We all grew up associating ourselves with streets that we grew up on, streets surrounding us, and we called it names. That's a part of our culture. It's not no established hierarchy. It's not no established leadership. And they're not even establishing that element of the crime, established leadership. They making the leadership be whoever they want the leadership to be. So if they get you and y'all made up this crew and y'all saying y'all from the street, they snatch you up. They say, hey, he the leader of that gang. They not even proving it, but you dealing with a group of people that is not taught enough to challenge it, or don't got the resources to properly challenge it. So what? They going in and they taking cops to things that they didn't even do. Not even making them establish this element. But this is another tool that's meant to hunt us down as a people. They done took basically a federal crime and tied it into a state crime in order to hunt us down. And it got the same maximum penalty as Rico. So now you got the feds applying Rico to our brothers from the federal level, and you got the state applying the Gang Association Act to our brothers from the state level. We can't win nowhere around it. Everybody coming for us. And every time you deal with crime, you deal with poverty, because as I always talk to my brothers and sisters, you cannot address crime without poverty. A lot of brothers is associated with crews and associated with crime because what? Poverty. So you can't deal with prison without what? Dealing with slavery. And so how did they turn brothers back into slaves? Through the 13th Amendment. See, 13th Amendment say that slavery is prohibited unless you're duly convicted of a crime. Now, people think when they hear that what they mean is that they're going to haul you away and take you on a slave plantation. That's not what they mean by that. They clearly mean that you're going to be forever live in peonage, meaning that you're not going to be able to empower yourself or rise above. You're going to basically be arrested, hindered in everything you do. Just look at that. Once you catch a felony, you bar from doing most things that can empower you. You bar from doing that. You can't get no real estate license. You can't get no law license. You can't get no medical license. You can't get no nursing license. You can't be a police officer. You can't be a teacher. You bar from doing everything. So what you do, the only thing you can do is check into a factory, which is another plantation. And that's the highest you can get unless you slip through and you're an entertainer. And we dealing with a small percentage that's going to slide through like that. So brothers and sisters, understand this. Every time I come to you with these measures, I come to you with these measures to let us know and to warn us that we can do something about it. Right here in Detroit, I was just looking at the statistics right here now. They're getting worse as the years going by. It's 83 young brothers to every 100 young sisters. So you see, off the bill, that's a 17 person difference in the ratio between black men and black women. Now you got them hunting them, taking them away. So this is what's turning so much homosexuality, and this is what's masculinizing so many of our young sisters. Brothers is being hunted down and taken away. So at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, understand this initiative. It's another new initiative that's meant to hunt our brothers down and hunt them down for a long time and get them in the system. Now, guidelines varies with each individual, but the whole point is once they get you off in the system, they got a 20-year max. That means that they can hold you for whatever your minimum is all the way up into them 20 years. And then what you face when you get out here trying to amalgamate back into society, you can never get back to where you was because you forever prohibited from entering into fields that's going to empower you. So we have to understand this. If we don't join efforts and join together and start fighting this, then they're going to continue to do what they're doing. We done let these people come in and tell us that we got a gang culture in Detroit. That's crazy. We done let these people tell us that we got a gang culture in Detroit. They haven't proved no gang culture. And I hear people all the time like, where's these people? Where's this gang culture existing at? Where's this hierarchy existing at? We sitting here baffled about this gang culture that they saying that exists, but they hunting us down and locking us up. And people like, oh, it must exist. Well, because they locking us up. If you don't know it exists, it don't exist. Because when you go to places like Chicago, places like LA, they know them gang cultures exist. We don't know it exists because it don't exist. What exists is the same thing existed when we was young. I'm an OG. So I come up through the ranks. I come up through the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. So people who come up in that era, they already know we associated ourselves with streets. And that wasn't considered no gang. It wasn't no hierarchy. It wasn't no organizational structure. It was none of the above. It was just people representing a certain place that they from. That's what they saying is the gang culture here in Detroit. So brothers and sisters, parents, aunties, fathers, mothers, you siblings, friends, stand together and start standing up against this. If not, that disparity between 100 females and 83 males is going to continue to get worse. And sisters gonna have a harder and harder time finding an adequate man, and our children gonna have a harder and harder time to be raised by a real man. With that being said, tune in to my next sessions, man. We're gonna stay building, we're gonna stay bonded, and remember, I'm not on here to debate. I'm on here to resolve and to move. You want to debate with me? Show up at the front line, and I'll debate with you on that front line while we bust through that door.